is on.
Manchester United make it 13 wins in a row at Old Trafford, beating Crystal Palace by 2-1 in a controversial match here. And it was the man of the moment, Marcus Rashford, who grabbed the decisive goal. Bruno Fernandes netted a first-half penalty to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. Rashford doubled the advantage before Palace hit back through Jeffrey Schlupp. Casemiro, though, saw red for a fracas in which he and Will Hughes exchanged. Casemiro grabbed Hughes by the throat. Unfortunately, the ref consulted VAR and sent the Brazilian off. He will miss the next 3 games, 2 against Leeds, 1 against Leicester City. But the main thing is United have won in what has been an emotionally charged day here at the Theatre of Dreams as we remember those who sadly lost their lives 65 years ago in the Munich air disaster. With me here in the Old Trafford studio to look back on the match, former Academy goalkeeper Paul Woolston and former Academy graduate Fraser Campbell. Fraser, it's been one hell of a day here at Old Trafford, hasn't it? From pre-kickoff when the tributes flowed as we remembered those who sadly passed away in 1958, to the events of the 90 minutes and the result itself. It's been just one hell of a day here for Manchester United in many different respects.
Yeah, like you said, emotionally charged day. Remembrance of what's been on in the past, the history, the ups and downs of cruising 2-0 up, then having a man sent off, But, I think overall it's been a good day. Get your points and move on.
Yeah, it was a game in which United dominated, Paul, for long spells. You joined us for radio commentary for that one. But it became a lot more difficult once Casemiro saw red and Palace got their goal to get them back into the match.
Yeah, it was very similar to when we played them down their place. A decision goes against us and they seem to thrive on that. They seem to come into the game. It's always difficult with 10 men, but it shows a strength in character to weather the storm, to get through, to ultimately come off the pitch with the 3 points. A point, some people would have said, going down to 10 men the way Palace reacted would have been a good point, but to come off with the full 3 points is massive, pat on the back to the way the players responded and how the manager's got the resilient side out of the players.
Yeah, he sure has, and the way we ended up with basically 4 centre-backs and Luke Shaw as a back 5, and Sabitzer to make his debut to come in front and give him some protection was very good as well. But I think we're all a bit emotionally spent after everything that's going on today. Let's head pitch side, shall we? Niall is there with Danny Webber and actor Cunliffe Hill.
Thanks, Solly. Yeah, certainly a much calmer atmosphere here at pitchside at Old Trafford than it was about 20 minutes ago. Crystal Palace really threw everything at United, but they came through it, Webbs. And to be honest, we've seen this from Eric Ten Hag's sides. When they've had their backs against the wall, when they've had adversity, they've managed to deal with it, and they did it again today.
Yeah, I think over this season we've shown strength in character, we've shown resilience, and as you say, when your back's against the wall, we come out fighting. We showed professionalism towards the end to, whatever way you look at it, to waste time, to run down the clock when was needed, when our backs were against the wall and we had 10 men. Eric made necessary substitutes to make sure we were solid, and taking the three points was massive. I think had we've had our pocket picked like we did at Sellers Park, it would have felt like a really damp squib at the end of the game.
Do you know what's interesting is, Cunliffe, you said that you've seen a few games here in the last few weeks, including, I think, the Manchester derby, but it felt like the cheer at the end of that game today was almost as big as the one against City, just because of how much United's backs were against the wall towards the end there.
Yeah, I think my pulse is just back to normal now, but it was very SBT towards the end, and we couldn't see why Casemiro was sent off. But I thought our new signing played admirably. I didn't see why he was booked either. Well, he wasn't booked, but he was blown up for a foul, and I thought he was brilliant too. But it was nerve-wracking at the end, and maybe a bit tired at the end, but still kept the discipline and kept it together to win. So,
do you think that's something maybe that we might not have seen, say, a year ago? So, last year at Old Trafford, it was Ralph Rangnick's first game in charge. That was against Crystal Palace. United won by a 0-0 through Fred, but it feels different now. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I think it is. I definitely think it is. We were saying before the kickoff that, people seem to be happy to be part of a squad now, which they didn't seem to be under our ex-Austrian manager. So, yeah, definite difference. And I think he's got lots of qualities, patience with Sancho and Martial, and also discipline and determination. So it's all paying off.
Obviously, as Conleth says, a red card for Casemiro. Disappointing because he's been so influential to this Manchester United side since his arrival. Obviously a blow. You can see why the referee made that decision, but when you think about the 3 games that he's going to miss, it could be worse for United, I suppose.
No, yeah, firstly, you can see why the ref made the decision. He's not malicious, but when your hands are where they are, then of course, when you're re-looking at it on a screen, it looks bad. So, yes, you can understand that, and he took it and went down a tunnel, but the next 3 games, I think, I disagree. I think they're big games in terms of Leeds, home and away. We need your Warriors in the middle of the park, especially to go to Ellen Road and make sure that we have that fight. He's a big miss. We saw it at Arsenal. He's a big miss, not just for what he does in terms of on the ball, but what he does for the people around him and the standards he demands from everybody.
Yeah, he's got that fight as well, which we saw probably in the wrong way with the red card, but he's got that fight, there's no doubt about it. Just finally then, before we move on to Sam, who's in the international suite, Conleth, that second goal finished off by Marcus Rashford. What a team move. It felt like, and I'm not sure whether this is true or not, it felt like everyone was involved, everyone touched the ball. Yeah. It was just a picture book goal.
Yeah, well, it was between me and him who scored, really. Oh, you mean the team, not the crowd? Yeah, no, it was fantastic, and I'm glad for him, because I wasn't sure that he was having his best game, but that's what he does, just out of nowhere, and with the help of the team, gets this brilliant winning goal. So happy to see him on the score sheet. Yeah, brilliant move.
Conleth, it's been great to have you with us on MUTV today.
Cheers,
appreciate your time. Conleth's going to head back up to the suites, and Sam's in one of them as well. He's in the international suite with some of the fans.
Back in the international, people are now trying to sort of decompress after that very stressful last 10 minutes. Family over here having a nice bit of wine. Guys, do you mind? Can I join you? Is that all right?
You can.
How did we feel about those final 10 minutes?
It was nerve-wracking. It was really scary. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, really.
Difficult to accept 3 points in a situation where easily they might have got back to it, got a result. But now we've lost Casemiro for 3 games.
I know, that's scary. It really is scary. And we couldn't see what was actually going on because of the melee. So we didn't really know what was going on until afterwards we could see the photographs of it. So, yeah, it's not good at this stage in the season with all the cup games coming up and everything. Oh, scary.
Does mean we probably get to see a bit more of Marcel Sabitzer, though.
Yeah, he looked really promising. The last 10 minutes when he came on was great, really good. So yeah.
Haven't asked you a question yet.
Good.
What do you think it says about the squad that we're able to see out the remaining sort of 15 minutes and then 7 minutes of extra time with 10 men?
Yeah, it shows that they're pulling together well and hankering down when they need to. It's good. Good to see.
How's the wine?
It's rather nice. I need it. I settled my nerves after that game.
Who was your man of the match?
Oh gosh, that's really, really difficult. I would say Bruno. Bruno fought. He got in there. He never stopped. I mean, he always has tremendous amount of distance that he runs during a game. So I would go for Bruno.
Lots of agreeing.
100%. Sorry?
You were agreeing.
Absolutely, Bruno. Yeah, 100%. Just for commitment.
Does anybody want to add anything else?
Yeah, just a great game. Bruno's just the best. He's amazing. So yeah.
I'm just going to run over to this kid because he looked quite keen to get a man of the match.
Rashford.
And now say, back to the studio and point and do a wink.
Back to the studio.
Brilliant, that. That's given us a little time to chill and recharge the batteries as well, because it's been emotional, like we said here today. I'm sure it was for our players as well, including keeper David De Gea. Here's with Stuart.
David, that felt like a real team effort and a crowd effort today to get us over.
A terrific team effort, that is for sure. OK, we're going to take a quick break and be back with plenty and more after this. To the studio here at Old Trafford. United have beaten Palace by 2-1. It's been a dramatic match on an emotional day here at the Theatre of Dreams. Let's see what Luke Shaw thought of it all.
Danny, as Luke says, disappointing to lose Casemiro for the next few games, but a great opportunity for someone to come in and make their mark, and that could well be Marcel Sabitzer, who made his debut today.
Yeah, of course, it's a big miss first and foremost, and a big hole to fill. But that's why we have a squad. So if it's Marcel Sabitzer who's the chosen one, he didn't do himself any harm in the way he conducted himself on the pitch today. He got around. Sometimes when people step out at Old Trafford and the atmosphere is the way it is, they shrink, but he didn't. He was up for it, up for the tackles, wanted the ball, tried to break forward and showed a lot of energy, and shouldn't have been penalised for the foul that was given to him at the end.
Yeah, outrageous decision, that one, but in the end it didn't come to haunt Manchester United, thankfully. It's been a mad couple of days really for him, because on Tuesday he gets a late call, pack your bags, you're going to Manchester, and at 2-0 in the stands, in the dugout, he would have been sat there thinking, get me on that pitch. Nice simple debut, but as it turns out, down to 10 men, Palace pull one back, and he comes in right into the thick of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, he'll know more than anything how things can change. As you say, Monday, this is probably even on his radar, and by Saturday afternoon he's out there, and the game's changing at every given moment. He's got the experience, and it is a good job we brought him in. With Eriksen missing, and now obviously Casemiro missing, Scott's not been available as well. So it's good that we've got the depth and the quality to be able to fill that gap when needed.
Erik ten Hag said that even from his first training session, which was only a couple of days ago, he looked fit enough to come straight in and start working in the methods and the ways that Eric wants. Do you think we saw that today?
I think that Eric wouldn't have put him in had he not thought he was there. We've seen that with anybody. If you're not hitting the levels that Eric wants you to hit, then you do the work until that point. And I think you saw that he's more than capable. He's fit enough to get about the park, composed enough to get on the ball, and hopefully will be a good asset for us till the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure plenty of supporters here at Old Trafford were impressed with Sabitzer's debut, and I'm sure many of them in the international suite were as well. Here's Sam.
Drinks are very much flowing here in the international. We've had a few songs as well. Everyone is just absolutely buzzing with that full-time result. These two are on their phone though. How you doing?
Hi. Yeah. Huh? Oh, it was a good game, really. I came here, I'm not a football fan, but my...
All right, not a football fan. This lady here told me it was your birthday earlier.
Yes.
You're 30, I believe.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Good beard for a 30-year-old. This is MUTV. Say hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. What do you think of the game?
It's very good, and very it felt like a heartbeat when the last goal Crystal Palace scored. It was like
It was very stressful. Did you enjoy the game?
Yes, I did enjoy the game.
Actually did enjoy the game. I'm very pleased. Give us some insight, please.
What?
Give us some insight. The game, the football match we all just watched.
In the start of the game, it's okay. The problem with United, when they are 2-up, they're going defensive. I like more attacking.
Okay.
No attacking. But when Casemiro out, red card, they have to defend.
Yep.
That's basic, I think.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. When you have 10 men, you've got to defend. Insight from the international suite. Back to you, Sully.
Brilliant stuff, Sam. No one does it better, that's for sure. And the insight from the international suite is pretty much everyone happy with the United winning, Fraser, even though it was a difficult game with some interesting decisions by the referee who we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah. The end result is what we want, what we came for. So, there's things that, like I said, you can improve on. But, the job was to get 3 points, and first half up until the hour mark was done really well. Everything was going to plan, and it looked like it was going to be smooth sailing. But there's always twists and turns in football.
There sure is. Because of the inordinate amount of injury time added at the end of the game, and what's gone on here today, there's not enough time to bring you Erik ten Hag in this part of the show, so head to the official Manchester United app to hear from the manager. Loads more on the app, of course, as well, including your man of the match polls and much more besides. Who would you go as your man of the match, and why?
I'll give it to Fred. just seeing it, just how his energy he added in the midfield, his runs, attacking wise, and just his whole attitude towards the game. Some might call it a bit of questionable man of the match, but just watching it and how exhausted he was at the end, and just shows he gave it his all.
Your man of the match and why, Fraser?
Yeah, I'll back him up. I think the growth of Fred that I've seen over the last few months since the Tottenham game, he's really grown into the role, and I don't know if that's because he's got his Brazilian mate next to him or whatnot, but he's fun to watch. He puts his heart and soul into everything, and he really gives team players around him a boost with his enthusiasm.
And a fun fact that producer Bibby has just told me in my ear is that now Marcus Rashford scored 8 goals in 2023, the same amount as Liverpool and Chelsea combined. So it's lovely stuff. He's got 8. I mean, it underlines Marcus's incredible form, which has earned him the Premier League Player of the Month for January.
Yeah. We've been talking about him a lot, haven't we, throughout the season. He's progressively getting better and better, and he's becoming a real thorn in team side. So, all the plaudits he's getting, it's well deserved. He's got the Player of the Month for the club, Player of the Month for the Premier League, and hopefully he can continue that and keep breaking these goal scoring records that he's setting.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So, and just finally on the next game, Paul, Leeds here at Old Trafford going for 14 wins in a row at Theatre of Dreams, although we will have to do it without Casemiro.
Yeah, it'd be a massive miss. The way that the team has been playing with him, he's been a crucial part of that. He's been keeping things ticking defensively and attacking, and he will be missed, but we do have quality there. There's a few injuries around, and I think, as Luke said, it's time for players to step up to the challenge and make the manager ask himself questions, and be interesting to see what happens personnel-wise. But it's another chance to make a 14 and another record to aim for and go for.
It sure is. So that's it. United beat Palace 2-1 on an emotionally charged day here at Old Trafford. Do join us on Monday as we remember Munich. That will be a very poignant day, a significant one in the club's history, of course, as well. But from everybody, it's bye for now.